Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boy and the Beard, episode 3. We're excited. We have a guest with us, Mr. Tony Bigley.
Tony F&B.
Tony F&B, not food and beverage,
No.
as he was just telling us about. So for those that don't know, Tony Bigley is a local photographer and marketer, but his past life, he was a musician, pretty famous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Wikipedia, so I
Yeah,
guess
well, there, that's important.
That's a win.
That is
Did
a
you
win,
make
yeah.
the article, though?
no, they don't let you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you like hit them up and
It's me, Tony
want it,
F&C.
you can.
here.
I don't even know if you're allowed to change things about yourself.
Really?
Yeah,
You're-
they know like your IP or something weird.
wow.
And, like,
Oh, wow.
So you're blacklisted from your own?
Yeah,
I mean, what
yeah.
more of a primary source do you
Yeah, I
have?
mean, I wanted to add some more stuff, and they wrote me. And they're like,
Net
"Are you
worth
writing about yourself?"
$45 million.
That's crazy.
So,
Well, send it to me and I'll write it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be your ghostwriter for you. So I've known Tony for a little bit through. Actually, I met you at Zach's party. Zach Manley, which is the owner of the Cracked Egg, which used to be an employee of mine,
Yep.
at his housewarming party. Just kind of a quick, hey, how are you, kind of a deal. And but it's the friendship's kind of blossomed, if you will. That's a
Yeah,
good word, right?
sure, yeah.
Into just kind of hitting each other up, talking about photography, possibly going to Iceland.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a dream come true photography trip. So let's start early. Let's start career first, musician.
Okay.
How long have you been playing? You play guitar or bass?
Guitar.
Okay, how long have you been playing?
I've been playing guitar since I was about 9 years old.
9 years old.
Yeah, I got my first one when I was 7, but didn't really do anything.
Now, are you trained in the sense that you took classes or are you self-taught?
Self-taught. So what happened was I went to a class with my friend,
Yeah.
and I sat there, and they went through 2 pages of the book, and I was just like, I remember we went back to his house, and I was like, I get the concept of needing to practice, and not wanting to blow through it, but I was like, 2 pages of a book for $50 or something back then. I was like, that's insane. So anyway, so I got my dad to buy me a book,
Yeah.
and I was like, just let me see how this goes, because they used to come with a CD, and you
Yep.
could listen to see if you're screwing up. Well, I just completed a book like over the weekend, like the beginner course, and I was just like, but I practiced it, so I knew it. I didn't just like learn it and forget
Right.
it, and I was just like, well, that's insane. Like,
Yeah.
ooh,
you play any
congratulations,
other
I'm gonna save
instruments?
you money.
Yeah.
And taught myself. Pretty much like anything stringed I can figure out. Like I'm not gonna say I'm as good.
So I
at
busted
it.
out like a lute. You think you could jam out?
I probably figure it out,
Yeah.
maybe. If it has a string on it, I feel like I can learn it, or at least do something doodle on it, I guess is what you'd call it. So, I mean, bass, I'm not going to like play like Primus or something insane, but, I definitely can play it.
I love Primus.
Dude,
Primus. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So how did you go? So at 9 years old,
Mm-hmm.
how did you progress to becoming in your first band, or what was your first band rather? Let's start with that.
First band was called Neglected, and it was with a buddy here that knew Souls Harbor, and that's how,
Okay.
not to jump forward, but that's how I
Right.
met Souls Harbor.
Okay.
So yeah, it was Neglected, and it was like a hardcore band. It was a little heavier than Souls Harbor, and he ended up switching up. We were young, and he ended up getting into rap and not really wanting to do hardcore anymore.
Gotcha.
So, and I met Souls Harbor through him, and then that's when that started.
And was he a vocalist?
Yeah,
Was he?
yeah.
So you've been in 3 bands, more than 3?
Yeah, 3.
Three?
Yep.
So and again, kind of stepping back with Souls Harbor, I had seen you guys play at one of the clubs downtown. I mean, years ago.
Right.
And I was like, okay, these guys are going to be something.
Yeah,
You
thanks,
know,
man.
Yeah, everything, just the whole package, and you pair that with Doug and his singing ability,
Yeah.
and the look that you guys had
Right.
was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was insane, man. We were really lucky we were really lucky on how Buford supported us and the military. Kathleen's downtown, we'd play, and there'd be
Yes.
300 people in there somehow. And back before that, there was Coconuts in the Point, which was the same
Yep.
place, and we would have that place. People would be out in the backyard just to listen to
Yeah.
it, and
That's huge.
It was insane. It was just, so that really helped us with like endorsements. Jägermeister had us, and we would,
Wow.
we were, it was at one point before we were even signed that we were selling more Jaeger than any band, like Slayer, anybody. Like our
Really?
endorsement, we were averaging 16 of like the $50
Yeah.
bottles a show sold,
Wow.
like just from shots. And right before that, there was mini bottles.
Yeah.
And there was times we'd go clean up just our mini bottles on stage was like 80 or 100 of them. We'd go
insane.
there and like the Jägermeister is just so
It's like liquor.
jelly and right, and it's just you'd go the next day and just your cords would be just gunked
Oh,
with
I
it,
bet.
but you would just see like literally 100 bottles, and it'd be like, okay, this explains why I don't
Right.
remember anything past this.
So that was
time.
so that was going to lead me to that next question. How well? I mean, at what point are you so sloshed that you can't even? I mean, have you gotten to that point?
Oh yeah. So luckily, guitar's kind of muscle memory. Whenever you're playing your own songs and
Right.
like the same cover song every night, you got to figure we would do 3 nights a week, sometimes every weekend, and stuff like that. So, but there was times like the worst ever when we tried to always not get drunk,
Right.
especially if it was a serious like a tour
course.
or shows. But when it was Kathleen's or the point, the point was to get drunk. I mean,
Yeah.
So, but we would try not to do any of that before as much. A few beers, a couple beers, and a couple shots. But and then as the night went, it just was it just either was like, well, we're either going to waste all this liquor or because people would literally just not stop bringing,
buy- yeah.
But I remember one show. There's a place in Savannah called the Jinx. It was called the Velvet Elvis at one time.
Oh, I know.
It just
Yep,
closed.
Yep.
But they used to give us tall boy like PBRs on our rider instead
Right.
of like just a beer tab. They just give us all these PBRs. And we all just got wasted before the show. And I remember stepping up on the stage, and I went to like tune my guitar, and it just wasn't happening. I was just like, oh, and I was just like, I remember
You have like
looking
input lag.
right, and whenever you're tuning, there's like a strobe tuner, so it's like, and I was just like, I just handed my guitar to a Big Rob, our
Big
tour
Rob.
manager. Yeah, I handed my guitar. I'm like, bro, please God, tune this thing.
Yeah.
And then like we played, and I woke up the next day, and I was certain it was just horrid. I was just like, oh man,
Yeah.
like I was like, my part's gonna be horrible. But there was a video, and I watched it. And I was like, I remember that's the first time I realized like muscle memory, and I was just like, it is insane how well we all played last night.
Everybody on autopilot, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. You
Yeah.
know, and even still rock because like that was one thing about Souls Harbor. We always had the mentality of playing. You're playing in front of 10 or 10,000.
Right.
Like you got to put on the same show.
Yeah.
Like that one person, you might make their life, save
Yeah,
their
for
life
sure.
possibly,
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like. You got to put on the same show. So, on top of the rocking out, it's just like, how did we do that? And I remember showing Johnny, my other guitarist, and he was certain too. He's like,
Right.
I don't even know if I hit a note right. And I was just like, I showed him. He's like, that's insane. I was like, I know, dude.
That's crazy.
So how old were you? Around maybe like when you first started taking off, and you're like, oh, this is like kind of a big thing.
So I joined Souls Harbor right when I turned 21 because I had to be 21 for Jägermeister. So I was with them when I was 18 because Neglected, my buddy, and I split up at 18. And one night he's like, yo, you want to go to Ridgeland and see Souls Harbor? And I was like, I've heard of them, and my godbrother played in a band called Saucy Brown from here, which was like a really good cover band, like that played like like Hootie and the Blowfish stuff back in the day. So I was like, yeah, let me go check out this Souls Harbor band. And I don't know, we all just clicked. I instantly went to the next weekend by myself. And then I was like, you guys need me to come like help you load up? And they're like, sure, dude. And they're like, it's the second time they met me. And I was like, but I showed up like before they were even there. They pulled up. And I remember Zane was just like, holy crap, dude. He's
Yeah.
like, you're here? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And then, it just blossomed. I started
snowballed?
Yeah, and I just started writing with Johnny. But then I was gonna move to Texas because there was a band in Texas that was a metal band that needed a guitarist, and I was just like, I was down because I just graduated. I decided not to go to college to do music, and I was spending 2 years not doing it, technically, and I told Johnny, I was like, dude, I'm gonna get out of here. I think, and he's like, just join our band. I was like, what? And I was like, well, I never knew that was an option.
That was an option this whole time.
Right. So.
When did you start growing the dreadlocks?
Dreadlocks were the day I got out of high school.
Really?
So I had dreadlocks when I was a little kid.
Okay.
We started them, but I went to a academy that was like,
Nope.
I mean, dude, like literally, I asked the dude. He's like, he walked past me in the hall, and I had dreads, all like pomaded up and stuff. And he's like, he walked past me. He's like, lose the do, and I was just like, huh?
Oh man.
And I went to his office, and I'm like, I'm not gonna put him on blast for what he really said, but he was just like, that's not what our academy people wear. And I was
Right,
just
right.
like, all right. And I went home. I told my mom I was pissed. I just, I've been growing out my hair and I have this gunk in my hair. And I told my mom, I was just like, nah, that school's not for me. And she's like, oh, yeah, it is. And I was like, shit. So
I think it is.
So the day I turned 18, I started growing my dreads and, just cut them off like 2
How long
years
did
ago.
they get?
Down to my, ass. Yeah, they were
Nice.
down there.
That's crazy.
This part was leaving and this part was growing. And it just
Like a
got,
Stevie
You
Wonder.
should have
Right.
rocked it.
Right. So I kept every year I'd be like, I'm cutting these things. Summer would come, I'd be like, screw these things,
Yeah.
cutting them. But then I'd go, and then I started losing the hair a little bit. So I was like, this is starting to get ridiculous. So the only way I would cut them, I was like, I need to do a charity with a children's hospital where people are going to donate money to me. And
To, like-
whenever I hit X amount, I'll shave them and send the money to the hospital. So I hit up a hospital that I know that does like Nike releases because I like shoes a lot. And I was like, let's do this. And they're like, cool. So I would feel bad. I was like, there's no way I can cop out of this one because I'm going to feel bad. I'll be like,
Yeah.
thanks for everybody donating
lock yourself
$5,000,
in.
but I'm keeping these things.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you leave? 2012 you left?
11. 2011.
And then you went to California?
Yeah. So, I went to Atlanta.
Okay.
So I went to Atlanta. I started writing with some buddies that we toured with there. And they're just really good friends. We started writing stuff. And then I got a call that a vocalist that I knew really liked me and wanted me to join the band. And, his manager's in a big metal band, or the band Hatebreed.
Okay.
So Jamie and the singer hit me up and they're like, we like you. Jake, the lead singer, really likes you. He wants you to come to California and join DEFILER.
Yeah.
And it was
No-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, I knew if Jamie was behind the band, excuse me.
No, you're good. So before we started doing this today, I'd looked up a little bit about you, looked on the wiki, looked at DEFILER, listened to a couple of the songs, and it's a big difference between a
Huge.
Seven Deaths-esque
Right.
Souls Harbor and then these guys.
Yeah, right.
What do you prefer?
Man, it depends on the day. You
Really?
know, like after Souls Harbor, definitely deathcore.
Right.
But I spent 10 years or whatever playing or more, like 10 years playing hard rock, which I
Right.
loved. It's just totally two different, ballparks.
They
I
are.
love them both. I guess if I had to play it forever, it would be probably hard rock because there's a livability there, and it's basically going off of me being able to live a
Right,
life.
for sure.
Like one of my really good friends is the lead singer in one of the biggest metal bands in the world, and the money he makes is saddening from what it used to be, and also, everybody's like, it's not about the money, but it is whenever you're living at your parents' house and you're away from them 11 months out of the year. It's like,
Right.
so I'm making this and I'm gone for almost 11 months out of the year, so I don't get to kick it with my friends, and I'm a family person, so I don't
Right.
get to see my family. Like iPhones and stuff made it a lot easier because you
Yeah.
can FaceTime, so it made it way better to be like, hey mom, what's up?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's hard, and people don't understand. Like, you can have crappy days out there. There was times on like Twitter I would bitch about something, and people would be like, "Bro, you're on the road. You're
Yeah.
blah blah blah." And
You're
it's
living
like,
the dream, man.
right? But it's like, bro, I'm still fighting with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, and
Still-
I can't actually do it in person. So
You
it's
still
like,
gotta go to the dentist.
right?
and
It's like,
stuff.
blah blah blah. I hate you. Hang up and be like, ah. And it's
Yeah,
like you can't
yeah.
just have these, or anything.
You're not gonna be perfectly happy every
My
morning,
grandma's
every day.
sick, and I can't go take her flowers.
Yeah.
know,
And then now you
something.
got people telling you you're not allowed to be sad because they don't like their dead end job they're in, and they look
Right.
at you and
And-
they're like, "Oh, I killed you."
Right, and then you got labels that are controlling you. I mean, like, the thing that's going on in country music right now with Morgan Wallen saying a word he shouldn't have
Oh, yeah,
said.
for sure.
So then all these other country artists now are coming out and apologizing for the Confederate flag. And that's a wish-washy type of thing. But
Yeah.
still, these guys, in their heart that they're not a racist
Right.
person or something. The rebel flag they wore because they saw it at Island Outfitters, and it was, it's part of, the
Dukes
South.
of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and all these huge mainstream artists, their labels are saying,
So
write
they're
this
starting to
down
give
and
him
being
like a whole checklist.
right.
Of
Well, like Luke
knots.
Combs, just came out. He's like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you didn't do anything, man. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have any hate behind that.
So
thing.
that almost that cancel culture.
Right.
Um,
Like 100%.
And we had talked about that last week. So there's a new musician that's new to me, Tom McDonald.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can say his name. So yeah, and and the way he raps and what he raps about and rhymes about it. I mean, it's truth.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's just ridiculous to how quick we've become to that.
Right. And it's the internet, you know.
The internet's
back in the day,
crazy.
people didn't have a platform to be like blah 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 blah, so they wouldn't multiply,
Right.
you know. And it's just insane, and, you know. And Tom and his girlfriend writes a lot of his stuff too, and he admits it. Like,
Yeah.
'cause
Oh,
she's
yeah,
an
for sure.
amazing writer.
Yeah.
And she just came out with an album. They're both like top number
yes,
ones right
I'd
now.
seen that. Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing with that. You know, back whenever I was trying to make it, you know, you had to have the label. Like you're like, oh, I got to
Yeah.
do this. I
Yeah.
need a label. You know, you could do it. You know, I mean, Souls Harbor had potential making a couple $100,000 a year
Right.
from playing shows, just, you know, Kathleen's and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, you wanted to go on tour, you wanted to make it. But now, I mean, these people just like,
They can like self-distribute because
right,
you just put it on
100%,
Spotify,
and
put it
make
on iTunes.
tons of money in YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just an insane money pool, you know, and like you just have people like that Ryan Upchurch dude that's doing it. And
Plus streams now. You're not
Yeah.
relying entirely on sales. You don't need
Right.
somebody to go in and pick out your CD out of a rack.
I mean, streaming's definitely something needs to happen there, because I have friends that have,
They're getting robbed.
yeah, you know, they post like their royalty checks, and it's like 63 cents, $1.80, and they have like 80 million views.
Yeah, people are listening to
Wow.
like thousands of hours of their music.
There's
and
somebody
they're barely getting
huge,
compensated.
like I don't want to say it's Bruce Springsteen, but somebody huge that posted their totals and their money, and they made like $6,000 off of like billions or something, and
Yeah.
it's like, come
Yeah.
on, man, like
That's
somebody's got to.
And
you
it's
know.
it's pretty much monopolized between Spotify and Apple Music
Right.
and maybe YouTube Music, which, you know,
Right.
that's probably a minority of people who stream songs. But
Totally.
you're not like, oh, I'll just go to this third party who's got better terms. 'Cause
Right.
then what do you get, like 12 streams?
Right. Or you're just pirating and doing.
yeah. If you can find a TikTok of music streams, then you're
Right.
good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite band?
All-time favorite band, Korn.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's, Bakersfield. I
Yeah,
just moved
yeah.
from Bakersfield.
Yeah, man,
That's
yeah.
like their one claim to fame.
My all-time favorite song, though, will blow your mind. It's "Unbelievable" by EMF.
Really?
Yeah, everybody hears that. And
Unbelievable.
they're, you know,
love that song.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's always like, "What?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. It
I
spoke
mean,
to me.
that's
as
a great
kid.
song. Yeah.
But yeah, Korn, man, they're the ones that like I first stepped back and I was like, holy crap, like this is you know, because at that time my parents were influencing my music a lot, you know, because they came out when I was 11, you know, or so.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was listening to like Alice in Chains and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I loved it. But I don't know, Korn was the first one that ever was just like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
this is I don't
Like, it
know, you
kinda
know, I
clicked.
mean, your first band caught you like that, you know, it's just
Yeah.
that I don't know, it's like in seeing fire for the first time,
Right, exactly. And I don't have, I mean, so for me growing up, hip hop was always a big defining factor. I saw Roxanne Shante at like a small high school venue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Lived in Germany in the 80s, so Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, all those guys were just coming out.
Right.
And then from a rock standpoint, I've seen Kiss. My first concert was in 1976. I was 4 years old.
Oh wow.
Kiss in Columbus,
Can't beat that for
or Fayetteville, North Carolina, rather.
Right.
Yeah. So there's never been a particular genre that I'm not a big country fan.
Yeah, same here. I've just
I
started
appreciate the
recently.
musicianship of any type
Amazing
of music.
musicians.
But it just doesn't
There is
hit me
great
on-
country, but I can't just throw on like country hits.
When it comes to country, again, my dad influenced me, and I like the old like dudes
Johnny
like
Cash,
yeah,
Wilson,
David Allen Coe, and
Highwaymen.
Wyland Wennings, Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings. Yeah.
They're all Chris
But,
Christopherson.
Yeah, same. So I don't. It's hard to say. I don't have a particular favorite band.
Right.
I like a lot of
Yeah.
folks. I've just been turned on to the Teskey Brothers.
Okay. Oh wait, is that who you sent me?
I believe so. Yeah, the Australian band.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, they're good.
They're crazy.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'll go, and I just picked up their vinyl, which sounds great. And then, but within my selection, it's that, and then there's Prince, and then there's Appetite for Destruction.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's all over the board.
Yeah.
And my daughter picked up Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55 album.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's eclectic. I don't
That's
have
awesome,
one
though.
particular
Yeah.
style.
That's how I am for the most part. You know, I was never big into country. I do like some of these new guys. I don't know if it's what
It's
it
crazy
is,
because a lot of
but-
country has like pop and rap.
right, and
Kinda
maybe
like
that's
they
what
filled
it is.
it,
And that's
yeah.
honestly what it is. I mean, I think it's
It's like a
they're starting to-
marrying.
country isn't really country, is
It's
what
like
it
pop
was.
country.
So are you so for you from a music standpoint, is it the beat, the lyric, or are you a
Instrumental.
lyricist?
or-
100% instrumental.
Yeah.
Like there's times that I've listened to like records, like say like Deftones come out with a new
Yeah.
album, even though I love Chino and he's an amazing lyricist, but I'll like listen to something for a month and then be like, I don't know any lyrics to this.
Yeah.
Like I know like the lyrics where
Right.
you're like, you know, but
chorus
you're
and
not
stuff.
saying them,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And,
exactly.
And so I've realized that, and I try and listen to that more now because, you know, I think the lyrics more than music opens up emotions more, you know, and you get to
It does.
like,
It does.
you know,
It's crazy how many
Great.
people will listen to songs but they don't listen to the words and kind of comprehend it, like how people can read a whole page or a chapter and not really see the information that's
Right.
put forth, because they'll be saying something that's like a quadruple entendre.
Right.
And if you're just kind of vibing out to it rather than actually like, what's he saying? You
Right.
never catch it.
I think it's the musician in me, and I play by ear, so I think it's like me like deconstructing songs for so long
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh wait, that's, you know, he's doing this chord as opposed to that
Yeah.
one, you know, and I think that's what it is, you know, that I'm just so infatuated with every instrument that's going on. But and I do like the beat, but I'm just such a horrible drummer. Like, I mean, like Jesus could come down from the sky and be like, everybody on earth's gonna die if you don't play a simple beat, and I'd be like, well, take them all out because I'm not going out looking
Sorry,
like a
everybody.
dummy.
That would be me on anything with strings,
Yeah.
because I don't have, I think, the dexterity with my fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
I
It's-
want to, but I just don't.
That's me on any
It's my
instrument.
foot. So like piano, I can learn piano,
Yeah.
but the second you need me to step on something,
So
it's like meet me, you know.
So you can't.
You can't, yeah.
right, I
you
can't
can't-
like be like,
Yeah,
and like
it just throws you
know,
off.
Like every limb
Right.
is
Yeah.
doing something.
yeah, I just learned like a simple 4 beat, like yeah, I
Yeah.
still can't.
And
Never even
because
played
I
the drum.
played percussion.
Right, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean, marching
Yeah.
band and all that and stuff. So that I had to learn that, but I've always been, I don't know, 30 years, 35 years.
and I love it, man. I love.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts about football games. Were like
Marching
high
band.
school football games with
Yeah.
a band. It was like I remember I lived by Beaufort High, the old Beaufort High, and you could hear it from my house. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh man, it's so cool.
There's nothing that beats a good marching cadence, or just, I mean, for me.
You hear
So
that
when I lived in Germany, we didn't have a marching band per se. So
Right.
we would go to the games and we would stand in the stadium and just play.
Right.
When I got back to the States in '89, I was a sophomore, and then I joined the marching band. So learning how to march, being on the field, the hill ball toe with your foot,
Right.
and then not standing with your legs locked so you would pass out.
Right. Yeah,
All that
yeah.
was just, I mean, and then trying to walk and do beats, and you're crab walking and doing all these
Dude, it's
formations.
insane.
It was ridiculous.
Like my favorite college team's Ohio State, obviously, and they have one of the best. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the best band in the land. They
Yeah.
call them, and it's just so crazy how they're just like intertwining.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
It would be a disaster, you know. And there's a lot of people in rock music and all music that were a huge band people.
Travis
you know?
Barker.
Yeah, yeah. Like one of our guys that worked with our band forever, Dan, he was in a really big competition band, and like in Alabama or Mississippi, one of the two,
Yeah.
one of those kind of places. But and my homie down in Destin, Florida, my Nilla Gorilla, he's a big marching band dude, or just he teaches kids,
Yeah.
drums. He's an amazing drummer. We met him actually. Our manager that we picked up after our first label in Souls Harbor, he managed them too.
Okay.
And Zach was the drummer in that band, and
Yeah.
they came and played Kathleen's with us.
Wow.
And me and him just bonded, and then through marketing thing, I would get sent to Destin 2 weeks out of every month, and he lives over there.
Yeah,
So
well, that's cool.
so yeah, it's funny. We always joke around we're gonna hang out with Raf, which we are. Raf, you need to have us hang out and rage. But yeah.
So we're sitting here with Tony Bigley, and we just had a great conversation about music and learned a lot about him and his history. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about photography, because that's what I know you mostly about.
Yeah.
And what got you in? Let's talk about landscape photography first. What got you into that?
So it's going to jump forward, but marketing got me into it. So pretty much, because we'll get into that later, I started up the marketing company. I noticed my clients needed photos, and I got sick of paying somebody to take a picture of a sandwich that was not mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? If it was mind-blowing, I'd be like, I
Yeah.
can't do that shit.
Yeah.
But it was, and I was just like, okay. I was like, and you're saying, okay, hey, John, these photos of all your products are going to be $1,000. And I was like, well, crap, I can buy my own camera, learn a little bit, and
Yeah.
get it done, for
Right.
Facebook, and that's what it boiled down to, was being able to have consistent posting. So anyways, so I went and bought a camera, and then one day, and I always liked photography, like on the road, I always had a camera,
Right.
but I was just, it got thrown to the side.
Yeah, you weren't a photographer.
Right. So, one day I was bored and it was just a really beautiful sunset, and I was like, let me take a picture of that. And I was just like, oh, wow, that was cool. And so that's what got me into the photography thing, landscapes,
So same for us. I've always enjoyed photography, but the need of clients needing a picture taken and then doing events, and then it bled into landscape and product photography. So all that. There we go. Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
So do you prefer sunny landscapes or your night photography? Because you've got some pretty kick-ass night,
Thanks, man.
Milky Way stuff, especially out at Fripp Island. And
I think I like the sunny or like cloudy type things, but only because it's so annoying that everything has to be perfect. And in my eyes, I know there's a lot of photographers that will go out there if there's a cloud, but I just want, I don't want to have a cloud blowing through my thing, know, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It's just my mentality of I want a clear sky, and it's just like it's always such a crapshoot.
It is.
Even our websites that we can look at, it's like, oh, it says it's going to be good, and then you go out there and it's like the South Carolina weather is just like,
Last night, so we were Friday we did the film festival.
Yeah.
And we were just going over the bridge, headed downtown, and I just looked to my left and I said, it's going to be a gorgeous sunset.
Right.
Because there was that gap between the cloud level and the horizon, and then he had to run back and grab something, and in the photos that I'd seen, it was just phenomenal.
Oh, people were posting the sunset, and then on the way back, I looked up to the sky, and it was just made of cotton candy.
It's funny you say that. It was Friday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that night sky, the blue sky, was one of the most beautiful. I literally came out of my apartment, and I was like, this might be my favorite sky I've ever seen in my life. It was just like
that was Friday night.
Such a perfect blue, and then the stars were there, and I was just like, man, and I was like, I wish I would have seen like the sunset go up and or down.
It was a beautiful sunset.
Yeah. And you shoot Nikon.
Yep.
Out of just because that was the first one you bought?
Yeah, 100%. My same homie from the band Lamb of God, he's a big Leica guy, but he liked Canon also, and he kept saying, get a Canon. But it just so happens that the first deal I saw was on the Nikon, the Nikon. So I grabbed the Nikon, and then the rest is.
It's funny. I mean, it's it's really semantics. It's the Ford versus Chevy kind of debate, and especially now everything's going in with the digital, and we were talking about mirror cameras. So for me, it was Canon. It was gifted. My first DSLR was a Canon,
right,
and then it bled into, and then I wanted to get a mirrorless, so that's when I looked at Fuji,
right,
and just kind of fell into that.
Yeah, and the Canon glass is amazing. If in the grand scheme of things, if I would have researched for a while and stuff, I would have probably went Canon. But I just didn't.
Yeah, and that's so Tony's on with a Fuji lens. So Tony, look at the
Fuji lens.
Yeah. So we've got the 135 on this Fuji X-T4 right here, and then Tony Bigley is being shot on the Canon 5D Mark III with a Canon glass 24-70.
I knew what all that meant.
Yeah, right.
And it's very confusing at first. There is a lot that goes into.
I'm still so bad at lingo. When the company that sends me monitors, they hit me up and they wanted me. Well, we did it, but it just hasn't come out yet. Like a bunch of tutorial type things. And I told the dude, I'm like, bro, I use the dark's getting lighter. I'm like, bro, I don't know what that's called. I don't.
But I think from the novice, they don't necessarily need to,
True.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
That intimidating. People will just turn around and walk away from that if they don't understand it.
I've done so much reading, but for me, I'm more of a physical learner. I can read something and comprehend it, but until I physically do it, or it clicks in my head, then I'm like, okay.
And I think that's the best thing to do is just go out there and do it. That's what I did. Same with the guitar, with the camera. I just watched a billion YouTube. I mean, I still do. When I'm working, I'm just have I think it's just weird. Even in photography, it's like you said, the truck statement, but it's almost like that with everything. It's like, well, what should you go? What should your lowest shutter speed be held? And people are like, well, whatever over 80. But then there's tons of people, I shoot whatever over 15 all the time.
So much of it boils down to personal preference.
It's like, where's the answer?
There is no,
objectively.
And I guess there's calmer people than other people, but
for sure.
You're talking about, there should be I can shoot at 60, 80, 100. And you'd be like, okay, that's kind of, it's
your realm. Yeah. And even, the ISO deal. You know, obviously, the lower the ISO, the cleaner the image is going to be.
Right.
The higher the ISO, the more noise you're.
Some people, I never
Bring it
bump it
into-
over, whatever,
Yeah.
ever, no matter what. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of these
Sometimes it
cameras
necessitates
nowadays are they're great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can
because they're
shoot.
computers and cameras at the same time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're processing stuff and interpreting data and all that while you're taking photos. It's not just like a chemical reaction on film like it
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, they're metering everything.
Everything, yeah.
Which I'm horrible at looking at. I need to look at it a little more. I'm always I always forget that there's a meter there that will tell you.
You're like,
I'm
oh, yeah.
oh no, that's wrong.
Yeah. Now, do you like doing weddings?
Yeah, now I do. At first, it was a complete anxiety attack.
Stressful.
Well, I mean, I just
You have one shot.
to this day that, and my problem is what happens whenever that card fails finally. And then what happens when that second card fails? I'm really good about. During the dinner, I go straight to my car and upload everything to 3 hard drives. I'm like, I don't care how crazy it is. It's
Right.
Like, brr, 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 brr.
Yeah.
Because, I have a friend that I print with sometimes canvases and stuff. And she had a wedding on just one hard drive and it went crapped out. And she had to pay $1,000 to get just partial part of the photos off of, and that part stressed me out, and I didn't want to ever really get into it, but I had a friend that was like, we really want you to shoot our wedding. And I was like, okay. And then the next day he hit me up and he's like, well, now her sister's getting married.
Oh, my goodness.
And you could make a little more money off of that. And I was like, all right. And then I was like, let me open it up for 1 week and see how many I can get.
Right.
And that 1 week I got maybe 8.
Oh, wow.
know? And I was
Like inquiries.
yeah, well, yeah, I got 8 solidified weddings. And I was like, okay, I'm a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You fell right into it.
I was tweeting the other day, and it's not talking crap at all or being, oh, this is me, because believe me, I'm still poor as crap. But it's insane whenever you deal with money like that, and it's like, well, that's 3 car payments right there and a deposit.
Yeah.
And it's like
When you could think of it that way, this is however many months of rent in one solid intake.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's just and I wouldn't have done it anyways. I'm not chasing money that way. There's plenty of money in any kind of photography, people-wise, couples or kids. There's plenty of money
portraits,
to find
events,
something you
candidates,
like.
literally everything.
It was mostly just the anxiety part of it that was keeping me from it. It wasn't that I wouldn't learn what to do or get shots. It was just what happens whenever all these photos are lost and I have to give them back their money, hire the people back to
Because in your
take
mind,
photos.
it's when, not an
Right,
if.
yeah,
Just
possibly.
automatically.
And that's why I was glad. That was another thing that made me feel good was all my equipment was new. I was like, okay, well, this shouldn't shit out for a while, right? But
That was my thought process with video wedding.
right,
And again, it kind of fell in my lap. We were referred to by Todd Stowe for a wedding, and then Tony had just kind of joined the team. So now I had a second shooter, and we kind of had everything
Little
set
B
up.
cam op, no big deal.
And then we did our second wedding. That was another referral because Jennifer Sanborn couldn't do it. So we went out and shot that one. And once I see the footage and I see the end result, all the stress and anxiety that I had kind of goes away.
totally, 100%.
And so I really enjoy doing wedding videography
Yeah.
more than I would anticipated that I would have ever done it. And
I like
again,
it too.
the same anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, because the dad, he's only going to see his daughter in her dress for the first time once. That's just the nature of it.
Right, and that's my point of I don't mind giving them back all their money and hiring a makeup artist and renting their suits and stuff, but
You just feel bad.
for instance, yesterday I shot a wedding and they wanted to do all their portraits before the wedding. And I was shooting and they were good shots, but I just didn't see that same stokedness that they get right when they're done getting married and we go and do portraits.
and they're literally all their brain chemicals are still
right.
rushing
And I
around.
told them, I'm like, we're going to have to still shoot a portrait session just because you'll see the difference in your eyes,
Like the
way you're
glow.
looking at them.
Yeah.
So that's my point is
It's like when you get a candid smile versus a posed smile.
100%. I was like, you're never going to get, especially if it's on 3 weeks later, whenever you can set them back up. Hey, let's get your beautiful wedding shots. They're always going to look at that and be like, that wasn't our wedding.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No matter how beautiful
They'll be
it
like,
is. It could be like a
it was the day
National
before.
Geographic best picture of the world.
Right.
And they'd still be like, that wasn't our wedding day.
Yeah, we were still boyfriend and girlfriend in this picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Fiance.
Did you watch Tiger King?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I know a girl that's dad is one of the main dudes in it.
Jeff Lowe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, the Glover guy, the guy that was
Okay.
supposed to like murder the dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
the
gotcha,
guy-
gotcha.
Yeah, I know his daughter. And
It's just so funny how he was like, "No, this is my fault. I'm not complicit at all."
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
right.
hold on, you were.
Yeah, I think it was insane. I thought it was funny that they did a limousine waiting for him to get pardoned.
Yeah.
Oh, that we were just talking about that. The mental gymnastics he had to go through to really convince himself
Right.
he was gonna get a pardon.
I wish they'd let him out and just film. I think they could have let him out and filmed just his like weekend in Vegas and like
And then
done a
just
whole
re-arrested
nother
him.
show and been like, all right, go back into jail.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah,
but you'll make a bunch of money off this because
Yeah.
it's gonna be gem.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Um,
Is it genre based?
no, it's not.
No,
It's
okay.
so sporadic. So I'll just spit off a few. Like so, I love all three Mighty Ducks like
Oh, nice.
insanely.
Not what I expected.
I grew up playing hockey, so
makes
so I
sense.
love them. Real movie wise, Cruel Intentions,
Great
Oh,
movie.
we just watched that.
10 Things I Hate About You. I'm a total like I love chick flicks, dude. Like I'll watch chick flicks all day. But then the Skulls.
He's all Legally Blonde.
Yeah. The Skulls.
That's great.
Billy Madison.
We talked about Billy Madison last time.
Dude, I love Billy Madison. Let's see here.
So let's say favorite horror.
His
You know what, man? Honestly, like, and it's not that it's scary. It's that. So this is a two-part. So it's not that it was scary. It was just I think it was a really good film, and it was also like holy crap. Like if you listen to it with like sound,
Yeah.
is The Conjuring. I just was
It's
like
a good movie.
constantly. It's like poof, and you're
Yeah.
like whoa, or like
Yeah.
the girl gets pulled across her bed, and it's poof, I was just like damn. I was
Great movie.
All that like the hide and seek. It's really good at building tension just from like a
Right.
created movie.
like, or the clap whenever it's dark.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, oh.
yeah, yep.
But,
I'm just gonna go into this dark basement.
Right, but I think like so I'll tell you the last scary movie that freaked me out bad was, and I was an adult, was maybe I was 17, but anyways was the Blair Witch Project, and I don't know
Really?
why, but it was at the end whenever the dude's like in the corner
Facing
and
the
they're like
wall.
if you see him you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Bro. My parents are gonna laugh at this. So I came home from that and I just laid in bed all night.
Oh
I just
my
kept seeing
goodness.
this dude. I'm like, oh god.
like
and I'm
burned into your
17,
cornea.
maybe
Right.
16, but I'm old enough to know this
Yeah.
crap's fake. So I hear my stepdad wake up and to go to work because he's an early worker. He's an architect here, and so like right when I hear that door close, I like go into my mom's room. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, what's going on? I'm like,
nothing.
I'm gonna lay on the floor. She's like, why? And I'm just like, oh,
Just chilling.
I was just hanging out, just figuring out talk till I fall asleep. She's like, okay, and I was just like instantly, I'm like, I woke up. I'm like, I'm such
A lot of people really, really insist that Blair Witch is overrated, not scary at all, poorly composed, poorly written, poorly acted, poorly edited, and it was just like mass mania is
Yeah.
the only reason anyone thinks it's good. But I just watched it a few years ago, rewatched it, and it's great. I mean, it's
Right.
good at building tension. It's like the birth of found footage, handheld, shaky.
yeah, 100%. It was like probably one of the first like.
I love how
point of
ambiguous
view
it
or
is.
something like
Yeah.
that.
And the ending is haunting. It's
Yeah.
really scary. That guy.
And I think when it comes to horror movies, I like them all like kind of equally. I think I get more into like like Butterfly Effect is
Yes.
easily one of my favorite
yeah.
movies.
that
ever.
movie's jacked up.
Dude, and have you ever seen like the director's cut ending?
No.
So you know how like at the end he like walks past her and they like see each other and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I wish you could watch the director's cut. Anyways, the director's cut
Well, I'm
version.
gonna now.
Oh man, I don't want to ruin it. But anyway, so like he goes in and he's reading his journal and
Yeah.
he reads it to whenever he's in his mom's womb and he freaking kills himself inside her.
Really?
Womb. He hangs
That's
himself with her.
crazy.
Dude. That part.
That
That
movie was
would've been-
crazy. There's
Dude,
a
I'm
lot
having
about
goosebumps
it.
talking about it. It was insane. Like I was just like, dude.
There's a lot of stuff I think they could do to change, but when he's like waking up and has no limbs and stuff like that,
Right.
that is just brutal. There's a scene in Looper like that where he's
haven't
running
seen it.
away. So it's kind of the same. It's time travel-y.
Okay.
So if something happens to him in the past, his present self, it'll happen. So he's running, and like people in the past are mutilating him. So his fingers just like disappears, and his legs
okay.
like disappear when he's mid sprint. So his
Right.
pants just go all limp, and he falls to the ground, and starts crawling. Same kind of vein as when Ashton wakes up, and it's just like. Isn't he just like at the elbows?
Yeah. He
It's
wakes
almost
up
the
and he's
same.
like, he wants to do this. Or
And there's something like
Yeah, it's so
primal,
crazy.
something primal in your brain when you see that,
Right.
where you're just like, that's
and
not
his
good.
buddies with his girl that he loves.
Yes, that
and,
was.
like, it's
Oh,
just
that
like-
movie's
a great
crazy.
movie.
So I think like psychological thrillers get me like Get Out. I remember I was like, oh,
Great.
wow.
Yeah,
I think those are the ones that like
Stuff that could really happen.
Something that's like
Yeah.
disturbing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
It's not like the visuals that are scaring you. It's the actual idea of what's happening.
I remember the first one. Oh, sorry to go back, but the very first movie that ever scared the shit out of me was Freddy Krueger.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember this so vividly. And I probably was 4 years old. I don't know why I was at a party with adults, mom. And dad. But anyways, they took me to this huge hall party, and there was a dude on stilts dressed up as Freddy Krueger. And dude, I went under
the
a table.
heck?
I felt
and that's like
it
a
was-
life-defining moment when you get traumatized as a child.
Dude,
Holy
I
cow.
remember he was so big, and I was just like, "What the?" And I just climbed under it. A chair had like a white curtain thing
Yeah.
on it or whatever
Just
drape.
hid.
I just was under there the whole time. I remember my parents at the end being like, "Tony," and again, how long did you? It could have been 10 minutes. And hopefully for you guys, it's been like 1 minute I was missing, but
Yeah.
it felt like years.
In your mind,
I was like, "This thing's over, right?" Like it was insane.
I was traumatized by Child's Play heavily. Just the first Child's Play movie. It's from the perspective of like a 5-year-old, and I was like 5 when I saw it.
Right.
And it's actually funny because I had a fascination with Freddy Krueger when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He didn't scare me. Like when we went to, I as a kid would go to the mall and Hot Topic existed. So we go into Hot Topic and they still had tons of horror paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And I would just gravitate toward Freddy. Like I thought he was just like badass.
Yeah,
I was
and
just
he
like, this
is
awesome.
now.
He didn't scare me. And like going back, I didn't watch them until I was older. They're almost funny and comedic, and I love
Right,
them.
100%.
But Child's Play, no bueno. Like I couldn't even watch any of the Child's Play movies until probably a few years ago.
There's like Unsolved Mysteries was like that for whenever growing up, my grandparents would watch it, and that just the music tormented me, the ghost part tormented me. I was just like,
Have you seen the remakes of
no, I
those?
heard it's good, but
Yeah.
We watched a couple
again,
episodes.
my point of that is it freaks me out so much to this day. I don't even want to watch it,
gives
but I
you
heard it's
PTSD.
really good.
Yeah.
I think you told me.
Yeah.
Somebody told me it was
It's really good.
It is
we
good.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. Do you? So you talked about Adam Sandler, Little Nicky.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, you like that one?
yeah. I like Little Nicky a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate Adam Sandler.
That's probably my
You hate
worst.
him? I understand.
I liked Uncut Gems.
Yeah. Oh
That's-
yeah.
that-
Uncut
to
Gems.
And
me,
I
that's not
like
Adam
Anger
Sandler.
Management.
Right.
Other than that, I'm like, get out of here, Adam.
Damn, I love Adam Sandler, but I like that goofiness. Like.
My girlfriend loves Adam Sandler.
I think like in Billy Madison, my favorite part's one that usually most people don't even notice, but like right at the beginning when he's laying face down in front of his maid and the like big wigs are walking past him and he reaches up and he's just like leg, I'm just like that. Just I don't know, it gets funny.
So, last little bit of conversation about your business, your marketing business.
Yeah.
What led to that field?
So in the music industry, whenever I was touring, the first person that told me something about marketing was our A&R at our label. We were chatting one day, and he's like, dude, you're so good at getting endorsements. And, like, whenever you talk about your endorsements, you could sell them to anybody. He's like, it's insane. He's like, I'm not saying give up the dream. He's like, but you should really maybe look into
Consider.
marketing. He's like, you could do this anywhere. Like,
Right.
you could do it on the road, And he, I think he was gravitating more towards like being an A&R for like a guitar company or something, but it's still A&R's marketing, So he was the first one. I was just like, whatever, I don't have time for that, Although on the road you have time for everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's you show up and then you sit around till 9 o'clock, play your
Right.
30 minutes or an hour and a half, and then you're done, But so anyways, and then it was right at the end, like when I was kind of in limbo about leaving the industry and what I would do. A tattoo artist here in Beaufort was like, dude, he's like, why are you not doing marketing? He's like, you could sell a popsicle to a freaking Eskimo. He's like,
Right.
he's like, you need to do it. And I got thinking about it. And everywhere I looked, they wanted people that went to school and stuff. And I was like, I don't believe that you can teach marketing or be an entrepreneur. You either sold baseball cards as a kid or had a lemonade stand or you played video games all day, which I did both of them, but you can't teach somebody. You can teach people the terms, but you're never going to
You can't teach them to be charismatic.
right or believe in sell
Right,
something,
for sure.
So I hit up a buddy that owns one of the biggest skate shops in the world, and I was like, dude, I'm down. Everywhere I look, I need school. He's like, I'm like, I feel like you don't need it, and he's like, no. He's like, dude, he's like, let me throw you on with some stuff that I'm doing, and if you can't use my name to get marketing jobs, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
So I was really lucky. He let me jump on and just learn a little bit before it.
Get a little experience you can put on
Right,
paper.
and then it was right after that I was like, well, now with that experience, screw going to work for somebody. I'll just get some, and at that time it was like social media marketing was like booming.
Blowing up.
It was like everybody was like, we need social media. And I still think it's like that. I think people now are starting to get a little wearier of it, of like, do we really need
outsourcing it?
Right. And you just get people that just don't have time for it. You think you always have time as something, but even me, I'm horrible at posting stuff on my social media. So yeah. So anyway, so I was just like, well, I'm gonna start this up and just go around town and get some clients, enough clients that make me happy, and go from there.
Well, good. So you do here locally Common Ground for sure.
Yep.
Who else?
I do Common Ground.
I love Common Ground.
Thank you, man. They're great. Yeah, Ramona's awesome. We have a great location. It's beautiful.
Fantastic. Oh yeah.
So I have Common Ground, and I now just my stepdad's company. He's an architect. I had a brain fart. Anyways, he's an architect. They own a design company called SM7 Design.
Okay.
So,
I've seen it.
So them, just locally.
Yeah. Good. So if you were to give anybody any advice from a small business standpoint regarding marketing, what would you spit to them right now?
I would say that you have to trust the market. Like there's a big entrepreneur out there that says the market is the market is the market, and it's true. Like, you got to really. And also, you can market something till your arms fall off, but if it's not a good product, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
I can sit here and blab about, this headphones, but, whenever it gets to the market and everybody's like, this is a pile of crap, there's nothing you can do. Like, you really got to take time and look at the things that you're going to market. And I understand at the beginning, you're just going to absorb everything because it's money,
right.
But you really got to believe in the products and know that they are a good product. Because, again, I don't think you can market a bad product. That's why they don't stay around.
Right,
exactly. Because freaking, Jeff Bezos or somebody like.
Yeah, I mean, how many things have gotten celebrity endorsements and then just not gone anywhere because it's
right, 100%. They get a boost of sales from like Bad Baby or whatever, and then like
it's like Sprite cranberries not flying off the shelf just because LeBron James held it up and went.
Yeah. I mean, you could be Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the most brilliant like marketing entrepreneurs in the world, and he's actually one of the ones that hyped me up to be like, okay, I want to do marketing. Him.
Love Gary V.
Yeah, dude, and like he's one of the most brilliant. And he can't. He could talk a few people into buying something, but like if it's a crap product, it's a crap product.
Yeah.
What's unique about him is he'll throw up a video from 2008, and it's talking about something that came through, and then so he's got video evidence of him talking about something. He'll throw that up on the screen, and then he'll do a comparison of where it's at now.
Right.
I mean, it's just great. I mean, that he started young and early.
Yeah.
With recording everything and keeping a
video. His wine library,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's insane. Like people with those palettes, he'll be like, it tastes like dirt and rubber ball, and I'm like, oh, that's insane. But yeah, I mean, he's brilliant, man.
He is.
And, he definitely can prove that. I mean, like musically, he jumped on musically at the very beginning,
right?
Which I think got bought by TikTok, but
right.
like he
exactly.
just knew it, like. All those old videos, you see him talking to young people. He's like, you need to be on Musically. You need to be doing Musically, and that was at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Where can folks find you at?
So at King of the Hill Photography on all the platforms is like probably the best place. I have King of the Hill Media on Facebook, which is like the marketing part of it. It just redirects it to me. So King of the Hill Photography is probably your best bet.
Yeah, definitely look him up. Tony's got some great content that's coming out, and he's funny as hell. And if you're lucky enough, he might like you on let you on his personal page, and get some insight that way.
Yeah, I have like local like bigwigs that have tried to add me on my personal page. I'm like, I don't think you're ready for that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, up until this past year, I kept tracks of my poops on Twitter.
Oh yeah, exactly right. So, anything else you want to ask, Tony?
Tony.
Okay, so
Tony.
Just the name
Feels
Tony,
good.
badass, right?
Yeah, real name's Anthony, but
Same.
thank God my godmother was like, "We're not calling him that," and I was like, I'm Tony, and I'm like, thank God.
My family called me Tony, and he's my family through marriage. So when I moved here, no one ever outside my family called me Tony in California, but he just naturally introduced me. So I just morphed into Tony.
So you like Anthony more?
I don't really care.
Yeah, see,
I'm Christopher.
My
Sean,
friends all call me Junker.
Call me Christopher or Chris. I don't know that name.
Right.
90% of the people I know back in California call me by my last name, neither
gotcha.
first name. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Do you game?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite platform?
Xbox.
Xbox. You got the Game Pass?
No, I don't have the
You
Game
need
Pass.
the value alone is just
Yeah, I know they just went through all this. Like they tried to raise the price of gold, and people like went bananas.
only if you're
sandwiches.
not grandfathered in though.
Right. Oh, so they kept it though.
They doubled it for anyone who doesn't already have it.
Oh.
So, if you've been like a member for 9-10 years, you should be good. It's still at 60, but $120 a year, that's just ridiculous.
That's insane.
That's
I mean,
absolutely ridiculous.
I don't care. Yeah, 100%.
But they have like every Halo, every single 2K, all the, FIFA, every Gears, all that on the Game Pass. It's not just
I
like
need
little
to get
duty.
it. I need to get it. Yeah, I'm stoked on the new Halo. My stepdaddy bought it for Christmas for me.
It's called Halo Infinite, right?
Yeah. He drew like the Halo guy because he's an architect, so he drew this cool thing, and he's like, "Should be coming out soon." I'm like, "I don't think it's coming out till next like fall." And he's like, "Oh shit." I'm sorry. And I'm like, "No, I'm stoked, man." I'm just like,
What's your favorite game?
ever
Ever.
is this game called California Games on the regular Nintendo, and it's like it's got surfing and hacky sack and like hang gliding and skateboarding and stuff like that. But I gravitate towards like sports a lot and Call of Duty. I mean, I'm all over.
Did you play
Call
Cold
of Duty.
War at all?
Yeah. I like it a lot. See, I never got into like I stopped liking Call of Duty whenever they got futuristic. And they had,
The last
jetpacks.
big one I liked was probably Black Ops 2.
Yeah, and like whenever they had like laser guns and stuff, I was like, man, I want like a
No
real
space.
one.
Like they hit space, and I was like kind of meant
So
to
the
check
Cold
that.
War, I was stoked on because it was gonna have like
too.
I remember it has the ACR 4U or whatever gun. I was like, yeah, this gun's back. I'm like, sweet.
It's literally 1985. Like that's what a year to set a Call of Duty game. It's all vaporwave and neon, and it's just badass.
All right. Well, we'll definitely have you back on to talk more games
Sweet.
because this guy is really into it, and I'm kind of more, not so much anymore as I used to be. I'm PlayStation.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever held an Xbox controller, maybe once or twice, so it doesn't feel as comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's a little
hear
off
ya.
for me. So thanks everybody for watching, for listening. Give Tony F&B a shout out, King of the Hill Photography, King of the Hill Media. All right, appreciate it.